OGRA has put together a number of videos to answer questions municipalities have about MDW and asset management. This first video is on manageable data collection. I have an agenda for today on some of the commonly asked questions about MDW, and I will go into those questions right now. First of the questions is a definition for data collection. But most importantly, manageable data collection is a scaled and sustainable version of the data collection process to fit both your needs and abilities. The University of Toronto, on behalf of OGRA, recently completed a study that found for many asset management plans, the assets included in the plan were not adequately described, meaning that the assets included in the plan did not have sufficient information about the asset. Users have told us that they lack confidence in the plan primarily because they were concerned that the data was not up to date. Also, data in one department is not being shared with other departments. Many municipalities have also raised concerns regarding how much data is too much. The best advice I can provide is that before heading into the field to collect data, staff must be aware of the data required for applications such as capital planning and work management, and make decisions on the best method for collecting that data. Many methods of data collection are available, including as-built drawings from recently completed construction projects, manual or electronic data collection using total station or GPS. Many new software applications are available, such as work management and GIS, that do allow you to update the database about the asset directly from the application. To begin to answer some of the issues I've identified, first you need to look at the capabilities within your organization. Are they comfortable using electronic equipment and computers? Are they experienced staff that know the asset, or some are students? Have they been assigned the task of keeping data up to date as part of their daily job, or is this something they do when they have time? In this example, data has been collected for every streetlight. The municipality knows the GPS coordinates of the streetlight, the type of pole, wattage of the luminaire, age and condition of the asset. Great information as long as you can keep it up to date. But for many municipalities, this may be more information than you can manage. So an alternative might be to know that on Main Street, between King Street and Queen Street, there are 10 street lights on shared poles that are this old and in this condition. This may be sufficient. How do I segment linear assets is an often asked question. There is no right or wrong answer to this question. I can simply offer you a few tips. The same is true for other linear assets such as sewer and water assets. As I said earlier, municipalities need to adequately describe the asset. Here are some tips on what type of information you should be looking at collecting. Is the road in an urban or rural roadside environment? What type of drainage is available on the road? Is it open ditch, closed sewer, or a combination of open and closed sewer? What is the surface width of the road? What is the shoulder width and shoulder material? I am surprised how many municipalities have not included location information about a road section in the asset inventory. They may have 4 or 5 records of Main Street, but they have not recorded which Main Street they are referring to in this record. Is it Main Street from King Street to Queen Street, or Main Street in another location? Surface material is usually populated in the inventory, whether or not the road is paved or unpaved or surface treated. Length is usually recorded, but traffic volume and speed limit are not recorded, and those two pieces of information are required to determine the maintenance class of the road section. Functional class is whether the asset is arterial, collector, or local residential. Number of lanes, truck route, bus route, and of course, knowing the condition of the asset is important. Of course, the attributes collected in the field and input into the database may vary for different road classes. For example, you may want more information on high traffic volume arterial roads than you would on a low traffic volume local residential street. OGRA has published 3 inventory manuals that define the attributes for roads, sewer networks, and water networks that should be used by municipalities to standardize their data. This is important when the assets are being compared across multiple jurisdictions, such as when the province is reviewing grant applications. Here is an example. Roadway width is described as either lane width, the width of pavement, or the width of pavement plus shoulders. The correct answer from the inventory manual is the latter, the width of pavement plus shoulders. OJRA has learned that in many asset management plans, a simplified age-based analysis was used to estimate remaining life, meaning if the asset is this old, it must be in this condition, which does not take into consideration that many older assets have been kept in good condition. So you need to inspect the asset on a regular basis. There are several methods available for pavement evaluation. The most common used is a drive over the road segments and visually identifying the defects on the road. Here are two examples of rippling and shoving, and being able to identify the defect is important. But to make a decision on which strategy to use to repair the defect, you need to know the cause of the defect on the previous slide. Knowing the condition is part of the answer, you also need to know what the total needs for the segment are. In this example, edge cracking is evident. The segment also needs proper shoulders to support the edge of pavement and drainage improvements. From the position of the fence, and in order to build the shoulder and improve the drainage, property will need to be purchased. To make what I am talking about manageable, the total needs are collected once and the cost of the needs updated on a regular basis. Depending on the type of road network, condition ratings could be collected on a 4-year cycle by dividing the road network into quadrants and inspecting one quadrant every year. This may not be sufficient on high-speed, high-volume road networks, but could work for this example. I mentioned earlier that user confidence was an issue. To improve user confidence, here are some tips. When filling data gaps, ensure that the data collected adequately describes the asset. To keep data current, assign staff the responsibility to update data after maintenance, rehab, and reconstruction projects are completed, schedule condition updates on a cycle, and make better use of technology that is integrated with MDW, allowing the municipality to keep data in a single location and make the data available to all. In our next video, I'll review the questions that we are receiving regarding some of the modules of MDW. If you have any questions after viewing this video, either call me or send me an email. Thank you.